Today we are going to discuss about bryophytes. In our previous video we have discussed that all kingdom plantae organisms are grouped under 5 classes, that is thallophyte, algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Now we are going to see in detail about the bryophytes. That bryophytes are known as amphibians of plant kingdom. The reason behind they are known as amphibians of plant kingdom because they live in soil, but for their reproduction they need a water content. The habitat region is they live in humid, shady, hilly regions where lots of moisture is present or moisture content is present. They have given us an example, that is liverworts, hornworts and mosses. Body is haploid gametophytic. As if we know that we have seen that life of plant kingdom is of two stages, sporophytic and gametophytic. We have seen the life cycle of plant is of two stages, that is sporophytic and gametophytic. Sporophytic life stage produces the spores which is diploid in nature. Here sporophytic life stage is diploid, gametophytic life stage is haploid. Sporophytic life stage produces the spores and it undergoes meiosis to form a gametophytic life stage, and from gametophytic life stage gametes are formed. And from gametes new spores are formed and new spores forms new sporophytic life stage. Means this life cycle shows us alternation of generation. Same as it is, they have told that body of bryophyte is gametophytic. Haploid and gametophytic means n number of chromosomes are present and the dominant life stage is gametophytic. Means the body which is visible to us, it is gametophytic in case of bryophytes. So bryophytes contain a haploid gametophytic life stage as a main life or a main plant body. Okay. Now, no true roots, no true stem, no true leaves, but leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structure is present. Male sex organ is known as antheridium. The male sex organ in case of bryophyte known as a antheridium, which produces a male gamete, that is known as antherozoids. Female sex organ in case of bryophyte known as archegonium, which produces a egg cell or egg gamete which is flask shaped. Okay. This egg cell is flask shaped. They live on soil, but for fertilization they require water. Plays an important role in succession of plant or plant succession or to form a complex plant body. Zygote is formed. Now we have discussed that zygote is formed. So we are going to discuss from antherozoids and egg cell how the zygote is formed and how the plant body begins, or how we can see a dominant life stage of bryophytes. As if we know that the male sex organ is antheridium and the female sex organ is archegonium. Antheridium, male sex organ, and archegonium, female sex organ. Now this antheridium produces antherozoids, which is male gamete, and archegonium produces an egg cell. Both are haploid in nature. When male gamete and female gamete get fused, they form a diploid zygote. Okay. But in case of bryophytes, this zygote does not undergo instantly under meiosis. If it instantly goes under meiosis, then it is going to form a haploid spore. But this zygote remains diploid, means form a sporophytic body which is diploid in nature only, means it doesn't undergoes meiosis. Sporophytic body which is diploid in nature, it doesn't undergoes meiosis. After forming a sporophytic stage, it undergoes a meiosis to form a haploid spores. It undergoes meiosis to form a haploid spore. And from haploid spores, new gametophytic body forms. As if we have told, the main plant body is gametophytic in nature. Now here we can see from haploid spores, new gametophytic plant body is formed, which is haploid in nature. This is a plant body of bryophyte which we can see. Okay, so this was about the bryophytes. Now we are going to discuss about some characters or some classification of bryophyte, that is liverworts, hornworts and mosses. As if liverworts, Antheroceratopsida, hornworts, Hepaticopsida and mosses, Bryopsida, are known as musky. So we are going to discuss about it. Now we are going to see about the liverworts known as Hepaticopsida. Now habitat means the living nature. Where they shows their living nature? Cool, damp, humid, shady streams, rivers, mountains or hilly regions. They are living in a cool, damp, humid, shady or a mountains or hilly regions. The body is thalloid, which is undifferentiated. Undifferentiated means simple body, not having a true root, stem, leaf-like structure, but it's having root-like structure, stem-like structure and leaf-like structure. There is no true root, no true stem, no true leaves, but leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structure is present on a body. Example, Merchantina, which is unisexual, or we can call it as a dioecious body, means male and female body is different. Next, sex organ present on the dorsal surface of the thallus. As if we said that body is thalloid-like, means that sex organs are going to be present on dorsal surface of thalloid. Means if you are going to draw it here, this is a thalloid-like structure, and on this thallus, the dorsal surface of the thallus, the sex organ is present. They said that sporogenous tissue developed from endothecium. The sporogenous tissue is going to be developed from endothecium. Dehiscence of capsule is irregular, means if you are going to see here, it is a archegonia. This sac is a archegonia. Which produces the egg, and this is the dehiscence, which is irregular shape. Irregular dehiscence. Okay. Now they have told elasters may be present or absent. What is meant by elasters? So elaster is a bond-like structure. It may be present or may not be present. They have said that the example is Rixia, which is bisexual, means male and female organ is present on one body only. Now vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation and budding formation. They are going to form buds, or they are going to form a fragment, and they are going to reproduce by vegetative means. Now green multicellular asexual buds called as gamy-cup. This gamy-cup is present on the thalloid body. This cup-shaped structures are present on thalloid body, which is known as a gamy cup, which reproduce as a sexual mode of reproduction. Now we are going to discuss about the sexual mode of reproduction, how they are going to reproduce by means of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, they are going to reproduce by means of sexual reproduction. As if we know that the male sex organ is known as antheridium, means antherozoids are going to be formed, and female organ is known as archegonium, which are going to produce egg cell or flask shaped structure. Antherozoids, which is male gamete, and egg cell, when it is going to be fused, forms a diploid zygote, because male and female gamete is haploid in nature. So diploid zygote. This diploid zygote undergoes to form a sporophytic life stage. This sporophytic life stage is diploid in nature because it avoids meiosis instantly, and it contains foot, seta and capsule. This sporophytic stage contains foot, seta and capsule and present on parent body only. This sporophytic body present or live on a parent body only because it is not a free living body. So sporophytic body undergoes meiosis to form a haploid spores, and from these haploid spores new haploid gametophytic life or body is formed. As if we have discussed in the general characters of bryophyte, that is gametophytic life stage is a main plant body. So it forms a main plant body, that is a gametophytic body or gametophytic stage, which is haploid in nature as well as it is free living plant body. So this was about the sexual reproduction in liverworts, that is Hepaticopsida. From antheridium and archegonium, male and female gametes are going to be formed, that is antherozoids and egg cell. When these gametes are going to be fused, they form a diploid zygote. It doesn't undergoes meiosis instantly. They form a sporophytic stage, which is diploid in nature again. This sporophytic life stage have foot, seta and capsule, which is partially parasite, means live on its plant body only. When it undergoes meiosis, forms haploid spores, and from haploid spores they are going to form a haploid gamete, and this haploid gametophytic stage is known as a parent body and which is free living in nature. So this was about the liverworts. Now we are going to discuss about hornworts, that is Anthoroceratopsida, which is a thalloid-like body. Means if we are going to discuss about hornworts, they have thalloid-like body as such as liverworts. Thallus contains unicellular rhizoids. Thalloid contain unicellular rhizoids. Sex organs are present on the dorsal surface of the thallus. Body is differentiated, means they are differentiated into foot, short meristematic region and capsule. As if we have discussed in case of liverworts that body have foot, seta and capsule, but here the seta is not present. Instead of seta, it is contained short meristematic region. On sporophyte, means we have discussed that the sporophytic stage have foot, seta and capsule. Here sporophytic stage or sporangium have foot, short meristematic region and capsule. Pseudoelasters are present in capsule. We have discussed that elasters is present in capsule in case of liverworts. Here we are saying pseudoelaster, means false elasters are present in case of capsule. Sporangious tissue develop from epithecium, means the external layer, and endothecium forms a sterile columella. Okay. Dehiscence means opening. Dehiscence of capsule is irregular, and they have given such example, that is Antheroceros, Notothylus and Megaceros, from which belongs to Hornworts or Antheroceratopsida. They have told that asexual reproduction is just by means of budding, means they reproduce asexually by forming of buds and sexually by antherozoids and egg cell. Means antheridium produces the male gamete, that is antherozoids, and archegonium produces egg cell, means egg gamete, female gamete, and when they fuse together they forms a zygote which is diploid in nature. Instantly they avoid the meiosis to form a sporophytic stage. Sporophytic stage contain foot, seta. Instead of seta they have short meristematic region, means foot, short meristematic region, and capsule. Sporophytic stage has, and then this sporophytic stage undergoes meiosis to form a spores, haploid spores, and from haploid spore they form a gametophytic life stage which is haploid in nature and which is free living. Okay, and dominant stage of plant body. Now we are going to see the last class of bryophytes, that is Bryopsida, known as mosses or musky. Now mosses. Mosses means Bryopsida, or we can call it as a musky. So they have told that gametophytic stage is dominant phase of their life cycle, means gametophytic stage is differentiated into two different stages, that is protonema and leafy stage. In case of protonema, green branch filamentous creeping develop from a spores, means from spores they forms haploid spores. Gametophytic stage is developed. The first stage is protonema, and protonema is a green which is branch filamentous creeping developed from a spores, means haploid spores. There is no sex organ is present in case of protonema, means this is about the primary protonema, and from secondary protonema leafy stage develops. From secondary protonema leafy stage is developed, which is leaf-like and laterally present. Laterally leaves are present, means we can say it as this structure. This leaf is present laterally and it contains the sex organ. Here the sex organ is present. They have told that the mosses have more elaborate mechanism of spore disposal. Yes, it have a more mechanism to dispose their spores. So, they have given us example, that is sphagnum, polytrichum, funaria. This is different examples of mosses or Bryopsida. As if we know that they reproduce asexually by fragmentation and budding, as well as by sexual mode of reproduction they produce by producing the male and female gamete, that is antherozoids and egg cell, and from that they have to form, when fertilization occurs they forms a zygote which is diploid in nature, then undifferentiated body which is diploid, that is sporophytic stage, and that sporophytic life stage contain food, seta and capsule. So we are going to discuss about it, but the most important point is here, that is sporophytic stage is partial parasite, means it remains on a parent body for some small period of time, so known as a partial parasite. Sporophytic stage is known as a partial parasitic because it lives on a gametophytic stage, means on a parent plant body. So we are going to discuss. So here you can see, such as this is a gametophytic body, means this is a parent body, which is known as gametophytic body or gametophytic stage. They have told that the sporophytic stage is on a gametophytic stage or a parent body known as partial parasite. So here we can see the structure. So here we can see this stage is sporophytic stage. Why? Because here you can see this is foot, this is seta, and this is a capsule region. Foot, seta, capsule together forms a sporophytic stage which contains a diploid cells. Here we can see diploid cells are present. Number of diploid cells are present, and if we are going to see one diploid cell, it undergoes meiosis to form a haploid spores, or we can write here haploid spore, and this haploid spore forms a new gametophytic stage or new bryophytes. So this was about the bryophytes, means as if we have told the gametophytic stage is a free living, means the main plant body, parent body which have a sporophytic life stage for a small period of time on the parent body known as a partially parasite, which consists of foot, seta and capsule. On the surface of capsule, number of diploid cells are present, and this diploid cells, when undergoes meiosis, forms haploid spores, and haploid spores form a new bryophytic plant body. So now in our next lecture we are going to discuss about pteridophytes and its life stages.